All right. Good afternoon. 12 noon here, and we are live. WMOQ FM. And we've got some special things going to be happening today. Sweet Tea Travels, the Marc McMain Show. And we're going to appreciate what Marc's doing out there, and hopefully he gets back one day soon. But today, Judy and I have got some special guests in the studio. But before we do that, we are going to talk a couple of things that's going on. Hey, we've got another car show here in Monroe coming up at the Monroe Auto and Tire tomorrow. It's 524 East Spring Street, from 10 to 2. The Masonic Lodge is doing a little car show. Certainly not as big as what we had there in March when we had 700 cars there. So excited about that. So head out tomorrow. Hopefully it's not going to rain. But also want to talk about the Georgia State Parks Golf Cup. Next week is at Arrowhead Point Golf Course up at Richard B. Russell State Park. So you want to make sure you get up there. If you trust me, it is worth golfers, anybody, it's worth going up, playing golf, but go play. Check it out, gastateparks.org/golf cup. There you go. And so I'm going to let Judy, my co-host here, wife extraordinaire, we're going to introduce this special guest, and very glad that he came in today. And then we've got somebody the last 30 minutes of the show that we'll introduce later and talk about travel. But we got some huge travel things to talk about today.
We absolutely do. Thank you so much. And again, welcome back to Sweet Tea Travels. I'm Judy, and today we have a very special guest joining us for the first half of the show. Y'all, someone whose travel experience spans the globe. I am blown away. Steve Shepard is a native of Baltimore, Maryland, but Georgia has been his home for so many years, and I'm blessed to call him my neighbor. But Steve earned his bachelor's and master's degree in music. Music is really his passion, and you're going to find that very hard to believe once you hear all about his travels. He spent most of his career as a high school chorus teacher, but early on he joined a concert choir and toured through Europe, 7 countries in 3 weeks. And that trip really completely changed his life. Different languages, different currencies, different cultures, different foods. And from that point on, Steve was hooked on travel. And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So from that first trip has led him to decades of international travel, 10 trips to the Holy Land, more than 250 days spent in Jerusalem. So over the years, Steve became not only a world traveler, but a tour host, and later he has worked in hospitality with educational opportunity tours after he retired in 2021. So today, totaling, Steve has traveled 61 countries in all 7 continents through land tours, ocean cruises, and river cruises. Steve, welcome to Sweet Tea Travels.
Thank you so much. It's really great to be here with you today.
Well, Steve, I've got to start with that very first European trip. I think so many people can relate to the idea that one experience can completely open your eyes to the world. What do you remember most vividly about that first experience?
Well, I was teaching high school, just finished my master's degree, and my major professor called and said, hey, I'm taking a concert tour from UGA to Europe, and I need some extra singers. Would you like to go with us? And I said, sure, tell me about it. Well, it was 7 different countries in Europe. And at that time, it was before the euro. So every country had its own currency, its own language, own food styles. It was really exciting. But we did about 10 concerts in those 3 weeks all over Europe. We actually got to sing in Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. We did just had some amazing experiences all over Europe, from Amsterdam to Paris to Switzerland to Italy and Germany. It was a great time.
Wow, it sounds like it. And I know we've already said you've traveled to over 61 countries, every continent. This show does not allow us to encompass all of those, and we hope that you can come back. But can you pick kind of your top maybe 3 places that you've been?
Well, we've done quite a few cruises. We love to cruise because it's a great place to travel and visit different locations. One of our favorite ones was in the Baltic states. Before a lot of changes happened, we actually got to spend 2 days in St. Petersburg, Russia, which was a beautiful, beautiful place to go. We had the opportunity to visit the Fabergé Museum and see the Fabergé eggs there, and the Hermitage, and so many wonderful places. Been all over Europe, I would say Rome is one of my favorite places, but Florence is too, because I love the food, the great cheeses and the breads and the wine. I mean, it's just magnificent. Experiencing the culture in different places is really exciting. But probably my most favorite place I've been is to the Holy Land. We've traveled all over Israel. We've had the opportunities to go into Egypt and also go into Jordan, but to go in those places where Jesus walked and follow the biblical stories and to see those places. I tell people when they travel there, once you get home, you'll never open your Bible the same way, because you'll envision all those places that you've been and seen, and it comes alive to you.
You know, Steve, I'm not surprised that you would say that, because that is how I first heard your name before we ever started going to church together. It was, you were stuck and you had to be evacuated out in one of those trips, and I know you even went back after that. I've
been evacuated twice.
Right.
We were actually in Israel on October 7th of 2023, and we were evacuated out through Jordan. Our tour company took great care of us and got us out. We actually toured Jordan and several different wonderful sites there, including Petra, and we came home from Jordan. But things had started opening back up last fall and this year, and our tour company said, could you come back and work with us in February? So I was over there for 4 weeks until February 28th, when the Iran war started. This time we were evacuated through Egypt, so we spent time getting over to Cairo, spent a couple of days at the Egyptian Museum and seeing the pyramids and the Sphinx, and then flew home. But I've had people say, I'm never traveling with you, you're dangerous. But it's such an experience, and to be responsible for a lot of people and helping them get home. When I go, I'm not afraid. I don't let fear take over. You can be afraid in downtown Atlanta. I mean, so we just go, we experience the culture, get to meet people. I have friends all over the world, and especially in the Holy Land. I get texts and emails almost daily from friends over there, and they'll say, what do you need? I say, no, what do you need? And they just need our prayers that things will continue to be more and more peaceful.
You know, I love that you've mentioned your tour company. Tell us a little bit about that company, and you're even going back again. You mentioned 2 more trips.
Absolutely. This is Educational Opportunities. They're out of Lakeland, Florida. They're in their 52nd year, and the owner of the company started by taking some of his pastor friends to the Holy Land, and then it expanded. They're really the largest Holy Land tour company operating out of the U.S., taking groups over there. And in good years, they'll take thousands of people on the tours. And they've had some bumps in the road. Arab Spring was one. COVID was another. These recent wars were another. But people want to come back. And as soon as it's safe to go, they're ready to go back. There are groups this fall that are already scheduled. And as soon as the airport opens and the airlines fly back into Tel Aviv, they're ready to go. It's a great, great trip.
That's amazing. Well, maybe there is somebody listening today, maybe there's somebody sitting right here who might be a little bit intimidated, who's dreamed of international travel but feels a little scared. What would you tell them is the biggest thing that you've learned about traveling overseas?
The biggest thing is first of all, I tell people, when you're going to go overseas, do your research first. Read all about the places you're going to visit. Look at maps. Find the history, because I love history. And so find out what happened there and why you want to go, and don't be afraid. And you just have to experience it, especially for the first time. I tell people, don't go overseas by yourself the very first time. Take a tour. Be with a group. Be with a bunch of people that know where they're going, that know how to manipulate through the airports, getting a visa, changing your currency, all those kinds of things that people need to know before they travel. When you're with a tour company, and all the people that I take as their tour host, we have meetings, we have conversations, emails. I give them a packing list, how to prepare, what you do, what you don't do. So be ready, be prepared. That's the biggest thing to keep you safe in another country.
That was really my next question. I love this perspective about group travel versus independent travel. Tell us a little bit about people, again, taking that overseas trip. You've traveled so many different ways. You've hosted tours, you've taken cruises, land tours, you've taken church groups. What are some of the advantages of that group travel versus somebody who might think, I want to go by myself. I don't want to be stuck with a group.
And a lot of people do travel by themselves, business people especially, where they have to go to another country to conduct business. But with a tour where you're taking a group to visit different places, for instance, with our company, I register folks online. I get you registered, and then I walk you through the process. When are your payments due? How do you do this? Do you have a passport? I've taken people to the libraries to help them sign up for their next passport. I tell them how to pack. I give them information about the currency. How do you, and if you have an iPhone or a smartphone, it's amazing now, the technology. I have an app on my phone. I look at a price in a foreign country. I put the number in, it tells me what it's valued at US dollars. Now there's WhatsApp. So you can call, you can text, you can video anybody here in the US from your phone. They're language apps. So if you, in fact, now you can take a picture of a map in a foreign language and it'll translate the whole menu or the whole map. It's really amazing what you can do now. That's made it easier to travel and safer.
Okay, let's talk about the other side of that. Do you think there's misconceptions that people have about group travel? Like maybe some people think it's maybe rushed or overly rigid? The tours that we take have all been very flexible. The tour guides understand. I have people say, well, I'm in my 70s now, which a lot of people wait till they're retired. Their kids are grown. They start traveling. Can I physically do it? And I say, absolutely you can. If you go out and walk the track or walk around your neighborhood, you can do this. And all the tour guides we work with are very understanding. If somebody says, look, I have a cane. I need to go a little slower. Okay, so we do that. We have plenty of rest stops. We have restroom breaks and things like that to make it easy for everybody, because we want everybody to experience it and enjoy what they're doing, not for it to be a headache for them because they physically just can't keep up. Well, I'm glad you mentioned kind of that retirement age, because I did want to talk about that empty nester. Where should someone who is planning that first trip, where should they begin? What's the first step?
Well, the first step is deciding where you want to go. Do some research. If somebody wants to go, for instance, to the Holy Land, talk to your tour host. Find out more information. I send out all kinds of info, and our tour company will do the same thing. They have sites on their web page where you can go and you can find out more. What's the safety in it and what's involved. Our tour company, for instance, they book our flights for us. We get to the airport. When we land, we have tour guides that meet us there that help us through the process. We're on wonderful buses. We have fantastic hotels where we stay with beautiful buffets for every single day. The tour guides are all experienced. They're wonderful. And they just make sure they do everything they can to make sure, because with the tour company, our tourists are our number one customer. And we want to make sure everybody has a rewarding, comfortable experience.
I love it, and I'm so excited about everything that we've heard. And when we come back, we're going to keep talking. We're going to talk more with world traveler Steve Shepard, including some common mistakes that travelers make, practical traveler overseas tips, and the one destination that Steve would recommend to the most reluctant traveler.
All right, you're listening to the Marc McMain Show here, 1213. Judy and Steve Shepard is our guest, and we're going to get back with him in just a little bit. Hey, don't forget, we want to mention that Masonic Lodge Car Show tomorrow morning, 10 to 2 at downtown Monroe. They're at the Monroe Auto and Tire Company. Steve, why don't you, before we log out here, tell us the website people can get in touch with this company you work with.
Well, their website is www.eo, EO.travel. EO.travel. They can find out about all the places that EO goes, not just to the Holy Land, but they do river cruises. They do tours all over, a lot of Mediterranean cruises, Journeys of Paul cruises in the Mediterranean, and travels of Paul in Greece and in Turkey, where you can go to England and do a whole study of John and Charles Wesley and see all the places they've been. So there's quite a variety that they offer.
Great. We look forward to Judy continuing talking to you when we get back here. You listen to Sweet Tea Travels on the Marc McMain Show. Doug and Judy Hollingsworth will be right back.
I chuckled at a cartoon that showed a news conference by a United States senator who announced that he was divorcing his family so he could spend more time with politics. We may laugh, but the truth is many people make that statement every day. Maybe not with words, but with their actions. In fact, if a politician retires from his work to spend more time with his family, it becomes the lead story met with cynicism on the evening news, while the one who rejects his family advancing his career is commonplace. God tells us we should work hard to the glory of God, but He has clearly shown that we must have priorities. A relationship with God first, and family follows that. What does your focus tell you about your priorities? The Bible says that we have brought nothing into this world and we can take nothing out of it. It's good to focus on the things that last, like putting God first, and then family, and then people all around us that God loves. This is Bryant Wright, speaking right from my heart.
Visit rightfromtheheart.org and click television to watch our TV spots.
Is your home's AC ready for spring? Call Tony Beck Heating and Cooling for tune-ups or to install a new heating and cooling system. As a Lennox Premier dealer, we provide expert service, and it's an investment that pays off with lower energy bills. For a limited time, purchase a new qualifying Lennox system for up to $1,800 in rebates, or qualified buyers make no payments, incur no interest for 12 months when financing a new Lennox system. Contact Tony Beck Heating and Cooling at 770-466-2924 or beckheating.com today. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. HVAC license number CN001627.
Are you considering selling your house or land, or perhaps finding your dream home? Call Stacy McCullers, your trusted real estate expert with 12 years of experience and a lifelong connection to Walton County. Stacy is here to help you every step of the way. Whether you're buying or selling, she's available anytime to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. Don't wait. Call today, 678-859-6336. A member of Malcolm & Malcolm Realty Professionals, Stacy McCullers, your realtor for life.
12:16 here on the Marc McMain Show here, as we are every Friday afternoon. Sweet Tea Travels, Doug and Judy Hollingsworth take you all over the world, and we definitely are all over the world today. So we're going to get back with Steve Shepard and tell you a little bit more about what he does in his company that he works with here. But I want to mention again, too, because this is certainly something that needs to be mentioned, the Georgia State Parks Golf Cup, the Arrowhead Point Golf Course up at Richard B. Russell State Park in Elberton. Certainly sign up. It's a two-man tournament, so go to gastateparks.org/golf cup. Judy, why don't you continue with Steve? It's sounding really good.
Thank you very much, Doug. That's right. We are still here continuing our conversation with Steve Shepard. Steve, 61 countries, 7 continents, and I know your first love, the Holy Land.
It is.
Talk to us about it.
Well, there's so many wonderful places, and I said this earlier, to be able to walk through the places you've read about most of your life and to see those, there's some highlights. I mean, to go into Bethlehem and to go to the pretty accurate place where they believe Jesus was born, it's very emotional. You can't get into that place and everybody starts singing Silent Night, and I tell people when you travel to the Holy Land, take extra Kleenex with you because you'll need them. I think probably my favorite day, and there's wonderful experiences, praying in the Garden of Gethsemane or taking a boat ride on the Sea of Galilee. I mean, some amazing places to go. But probably the best day is the day you spend in Jerusalem, and you start where Jesus is finally condemned to death. You walk the path where he carried the cross. You visit Calvary, and then you visit the empty tomb. And so you're not going to find him there because he's not there anymore. But what a great day to be in those very places, and you just feel His Spirit. You feel the Spirit of God walking along with you. It's amazing.
Because he's in us.
That's right. That's right.
You know that I want to go.
I know you do.
I did get to visit D.C. and see the Dead Sea Scrolls, but that's not what this show is about. So, we know you're going again. You have 2 different opportunities. Do you want to take a minute and talk about those?
We were actually supposed to leave next week, and the sites are open, the restaurants are open, the hotels are open there, but the airport is not completely open yet. Not all of the airlines are flying back into Tel Aviv. We've heard that the Lufthansa group is going back very shortly, and then by the fall, by the end of the summer, most of the major U.S. airlines, if things continue on a peaceful track, will be flying back in. We have groups standing by, ready to go back this fall, but we postponed our trip till 2027. We're taking 2 groups, one leaving in January and one leaving in June. It's a 10-day tour that includes round-trip airfare from Atlanta, the luxury hotels, food, the tours, everything, for the price between $4,000 and $5,000 for everything.
Very reasonable. And so repeat again, and we'll probably ask you again. If someone wants to get in touch with you, get in touch with the educational opportunities, how would they do that?
Well, they can call or go online to www.eo.travel. That's the website. They can see all the tours that are offered and find out. They can pull up brochures that show complete itineraries for all the trips. If they want to get in touch with me, they can email me, and I'm at Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N, Shepherd, S-H-E-P-P-A-R-D, at Comcast.net. And I'll be happy to correspond, send you brochures, answer any questions you have, maybe alleviate some fears.
I love that. I love that. So, Steve, let's continue our conversation about these common mistakes that people might make when they're traveling overseas. So, you've worked with experienced travelers, and I'm sure you've worked with inexperienced travelers. So, what are some common mistakes that you see?
Well, I think there are several. We tell you how to pack. Don't put your medicine, your money in your checked bag. Put it in your carry-on. Well, for any travelers, those are good things to do. I tell people don't overpack. Don't overpack. Take enough stuff that you need. We dress in layers. We dress in layers. Yeah. We do have a lot of overpackers. That's okay. But I think the biggest mistake, really 2. First of all, not being prepared. Find out, do the research, find out where you're going, know why you're going. But I think of all travel, the biggest mistake, especially going overseas, is that sometimes people expect everything overseas to be just like it is at home. And I've had lots and lots of travelers. Well, this room is not as big, and the bathroom doesn't work like mine does at home, and this food doesn't taste like mine. Well, without being ugly, if you want it to be like home, stay at home. The reason you travel is to experience something new, something different that you're not used to. So just be ready I tell people, just be ready for an adventure, because you're going to experience something really cool along the way.
Hey, any of these trips go to Masada?
Most of them do. In fact, our trips that we're taking next year go to Masada, an amazing, amazing place. The story of Masada is just fantastic. In 70 AD, when Rome came in to destroy most of Jerusalem and the temple, people fled. They fled to Masada, which was a palace of Herod's. And they were there up on the top of a hill, and the Romans came. They wanted to destroy them, take them slaves, or kill them. And just the morning that Rome finally conquered and went in, all of the Jews that were there, all the Israelites, had committed suicide rather than be taken captive or tortured. It's a wonderful story of heroism and of great faith. It's a beautiful place to visit.
It is. I learned of that in high school, and it has touched my heart for centuries, and seen movies and documents about different things going on there at Masada. But if people ever get a chance to go, make sure you try to get to see Masada.
We include that on most, if not all, of the tours that we take.
All right, what about travel insurance?
The company offers travel insurance. It's based on, the insurance is based on the cost of your tour. So if you take a less expensive tour, the insurance is a little less. It does cover if you get sick over there, we'll get you health care, we'll get you home. There's parts of it include taking care of lost luggage. There's all kinds, and our tour company offers offers that. When you sign up, you can choose whether to take the travel insurance or not. I've had people tell me sometimes there are other companies that offer travel insurance. Sometimes your credit cards will offer an insurance policy for overseas travel. So just check around, do a little research, and people are cautious about health concerns. We tell you how to take your medicines with you, and if you get sick, one of the things we do in hospitality, if you get sick there, we'll get you to a pharmacy, we'll get a doctor. A lot of the doctors will visit the hotels to help you if you get sick.
So we touched on this earlier, but with all the time that you've spent traveling internationally, can you tell us what this travel has taught you personally?
Well, the head of the company asked me one time in a webinar, he said, why do you enjoy travel so much? Why do you love to travel? You've been to so many places with us and on your own. Why do you like to travel the world? And I said, one of the things that I have learned about travel, not necessarily Christian travel, but just travel in general, is it has really made for me John 3:16 come alive. For God so loved the world. Not people that live where I live or dress like me or talk like me or look like me. But God came and sent his son for the whole world. So the more people around the world that I get to meet and experience, it helps me to understand why God loves us so much to do that.
Well, that's a great answer, Steve. I couldn't have said that any better. Now I have one more question for you before we go, and then I'm going to ask you to give us that information one more time. We already know you've been a lot of places. Is there any place that you haven't been that you still want to go?
Yes, I would. I've not really been. The only place in Africa I've been is to Egypt, but I would love to visit Asia some. I would love to maybe go to Japan. One of the newest travel sites that's become very popular now is Vietnam. Vietnam and Cambodia. They have river cruises down there, and some people say, no, never gone there, but I would love to visit South Korea. I'd love to visit Japan. There's a lot of places. Australia is kind of in that area, which was a wonderful, wonderful place to go.
Okay, what have you not told us that you want to share, and give us your website information again?
Just be brave, experience it. You'll never regret traveling. Now, I know people every once in a while have a bad experience. Sometimes it's out of their control. It's just things happen. We've had people that have been on tours that got evacuated and said, well, I didn't get my money's worth. Listen, you always get your money's worth when you travel. You really do to go overseas and to visit these wonderful places. But again, the company www.eo.travel, and they can contact me at Stephen Shepherd, StephenShepherd at Comcast.net. I look forward to talking travel with folks and signing you up for a trip, not just to the Holy Land, but if you have a place you want to go, I'll see if EO goes there, and we'll get you signed up.
There's so many offerings. I had a chance to look over everything on the website. They have so many different trips. I saw a trip with the Paul tours.
They do.
They offer different group sizes. If you do want a smaller group, you can take that. Kind of like safari type trips.
They do.
So
And one of the newest things now is also river cruises. They do the Christmas market river cruises through Europe, which are just fantastic. But they go almost everywhere now.
It looked like it. When you pull up the map, you can see that they are look like every continent. So many different places that people can see and do just to open up their eyes to exactly what you said. God loves the world.
He does.
So
How about here in the United States? What's your a favorite place that you want?
Well, there are a lot of places here, and not to just talk only about international travel. I'm a big history buff.
Absolutely.
So Washington, D.C. is a great place to visit. One of my all-time favorites is Boston. So much history. Walk the Freedom Trail to visit Paul Revere's grave and the Old North Church. And, and there's so much to see there. But there's a lot of really good places. New York City is amazing, too. I mean, if you get to go there and see some Broadway shows, we've done a cruise out of New York up into Canada and Boston and all those places. Really fantastic experience.
A lot of good things to see and do here. All right, give us that website one more time, Steve.
www.eo.travel.
Easy. All right, it's 12:28 here. We appreciate Steve Shepherd coming in and speaking to us about a lot of things that we probably could talk 2 or 3 shows about. As Steve says, he has no problem talking about travel and certainly the Holy Land. So thank you very much. And I agree with Judy. We need to get you back on. Certainly would love to find out more information about your company in the future, and maybe next time we can maybe pinpoint a couple little different things that really sound like a fun thing to do. London?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and a lot of the tours go to London for 3 days. You can't see London in 3 days.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
I spent 3 weeks there one time.
I agree. All right, that's good. All right, Judy and Doug Hollingsworth every Friday right here on the Marc McMain Show, 12 to 1. Sweet Tea Travels here. We appreciate Miss Chastity helping us out and every Friday.
Absolutely.
We hope. Go ahead and say
Wonderful
hey.
show.
So thank you, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Judy put all this together
Yes,
today.
she's doing great.
She's doing a great job,
Miss
isn't she?
Judy's so beautiful.
We're so yes, we need cameras in here. Can you tell Mark we need cameras in here? So anyway, Steve, we thank you very much for being with us here today, and we got a special guest coming up here on the second half of the show, and we're just going to start off calling her the Traveling Golf Diva. So that sounds intriguing, doesn't it, Steve? That sounds intriguing. All right, Doug, Judy Hollingsworth will be right back here on the Marc McMain Show.
Madison Flooring, located at 1167 Eatonton Road in Madison, is your full-service and professional installation center for all kinds of flooring, from tile, carpet, laminate, wood. They even do showers. They have granite and quartz countertops. All military, police, firefighters, and teachers ask for your discount. Madison Flooring is locally owned and operated. For knowledgeable and friendly service, call 706-431-5152.
Stripling's General Store in Bogart reminds you that Father's Day is June the 21st. And you know dear old Dad would love a gift from Stripling's. You'll find great gift ideas, from gift boxes full of Dad's favorite things to gift cards. Fire up the grill with a juicy cut-to-order steak from the meat department. Plus, you'll find all the side dishes that make Dad's Day a special day. That's Stripling's General Store, Highway 78 East and Highway 53 in Bogart, wishing all dads a happy Father's Day.
Have you been putting off auto repairs? Do you want a body shop you know and trust? Go see Auto Correct Collision. Auto Correct is a family-owned and operated collision center with over 45 years of experience. Their equipment and training exceed industry standards. No repair is too big or small. Ask about the special drawings and mention this ad for a discount. Visit Auto Correct Collision at 409 Mayfield Drive or call them at 770-207-1241.
Around here, there are 4 things folks hold close: faith, family, friends, and their Fords. That's what Loganville Ford is built on. We believe in treating people right, working hard, and standing behind every handshake. Because this isn't just where we sell cars, it's where neighbors help neighbors, and relationships matter more than numbers. Loganville Ford, built on faith, driven by family, surrounded by friends, and proud to represent Ford. LoganvilleFord.com.
All right, welcome back to the Marc McMain Show. Marc is taking a few years off, so we don't know where Marc's at, but he's out working hard, so we know that for sure. Anyway, we are Doug and Judy Hollingsworth. We co-host for the Sweet Tea Travels segment on Fridays, so you can listen to us every Friday from 12 to 1. And we have been all over the world today. We appreciate Steve Shepard, and Steve's going to sit in here with us and just kind of have some fun with us. But we've got a special guest that is going to tell us a little bit more about things here at home. We're gonna welcome to the show Doris. I'm gonna say this right because I'm gonna put the U in there. Mascarella. There we go. Mascarella. So we got that U in there. So she's a public relations consultant, media professional, and golfer for sure. A passionate travel. She's based out of South Florida. So we're going to be talking to her about what she does and her love and new thing that she's doing with her company, the Traveling Golf Diva, and that's .com if anybody wants to go ahead and look it up, the travelinggolfdiva.com. So Doris, how are you today?
I'm wonderful, and thank you for having me on your show.
Well, say hello to Judy, and Judy's might be asking some questions as well. But say hello to Judy.
Hi, Judy.
Hi, Doris.
Nice
Thank
to
you
meet
so
you.
much for being here.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk a lot about what you have been doing the last few years. So let's get started off here. And through your podcasts and media work, you highlight incredible golf destinations, travel experience, fashion, food, and people behind some of the world's most memorable places. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the Traveling Golf Diva and what you do, Doris?
So I do PR and marketing for a living, but I learned how to play golf, drank the Kool-Aid, and fell in love with the sport. We travel. We've been traveling for 20 years all over the world to play golf. And I decided, because I went to different places, and I decided that every time we play with men. So I said, you know what? I'm going to add a little women's flair to the game of golf, and I'm going to create the Traveling Golf Diva. And I am going to spotlight different places, fashion, golf courses, and different locations that stand out. Also the food. I love food. So we talk about the food at the locations. And I created the podcast, and I've had interviews with women and men, because we have to have men all over the world. And that's what I do, and I love it. And thank you for having us, Doug. We met in Georgia, and love Georgia, by the way.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming on today. We're going to talk to you about a few of your places that you call dears to your heart here. So what's your goal with this lifestyle type thing for women? Is it just because we're trying to get more women? And I saw the International Golf Network came out that women are now playing more golf than ever. So that's exciting. I'm a big fan of the youth and women's golf in our country. So what's your goal, Doris, to do something with this?
Increase more women in the golf and, to play golf. I want to increase the, and I have to mention that a statistic came out as of 2025. There were 8 million female golfers in the United States alone. However, for some reason when you go to play, you play more with men than women. So my goal is to expand and grow and help women that would like to learn how to play golf with instructions, advice, professionals, and places to go to learn and enjoy the game. So my goal is to grow the female golf industry if possible all over the world.
All right, well, let's start off with some different places that I know you have mentioned to me in the past about your favorite places, and I'm sure you have quite a few on your list that I have seen in the past. But let's start out with one of Judy and I's favorite places here in Georgia, Sky Valley. So tell us a little bit about why you like Sky Valley, what all there is to do up there and things like that.
Of course. So we went about 3 weeks ago to Sky Valley. Never heard of it. I had never heard of Sky Valley. And we drove up there, and it was like 10 o'clock at night through those really, really narrow streets. So when we got there, we had a cabin that we had secured. However, we weren't able to see anything because it was dark. So the next morning when we woke up, the first thing we did was open the shades and look out. And I was at an awe because the mountains were spectacular. There were still like clouds all over the tip of the mountain. It was cool, it was peaceful, and all you could hear were the birds and the animals. And I'm like, oh my God, we arrived at heaven. This place is heaven on earth. And then as I looked down, I got a cup of coffee, opened the shade, and went outside. I had a cup of coffee, and I looked down, and there is the most gorgeous golf course in the valley. There was a deer walking around, and I'm like, is this real? So I have to say, we've been all over, as I said before, we've been all over the world, and one of the most impressive places was Sky Valley. I just felt like this place is amazing, and it's a secret that not everybody knows about. So, and then we had breakfast. Breakfast was a home-style breakfast, which was great. And then we continued the day with different activities that we did. So
What's some of the activities that you did up Sky Valley?
Well, of course, we played golf. We had a round of golf. It was cool. We had a little bit of rain, but I could not stop taking pictures. I was not really concentrated on the game, and my partner was not happy about that. But I was filming and I was taking pictures because it was a beautiful golf course. I learned how to play croquet, which I thought I was not going to like. Oh, I loved it. I sunk the ball in and we started to celebrate. I met some amazing people. They were so friendly. Usually when you go out on these places, you don't know anybody and you feel, we're strangers who've never been here before. They were so welcoming. So it's in my list of going back pretty soon because I really, really enjoyed it. And it's in the northern part of Georgia and the top of the mountains. So I believe it's the highest, they were saying it was the highest elevation, if I'm not mistaken, Doug.
It's the highest and coolest city in Georgia is what they go by. And
Yes.
you actually have to go into North Carolina in order to get to that wonderful, and it's actually a city. I don't know if you knew that or not, but very beautiful community where people go mainly just to buy a home. But they have all the amenities of certainly a resort and a lot of fun things to do, pickleball. But certainly the peaceful atmosphere is one of the things I love. It's about a little over 2 hours away from Atlanta, up in northeast Georgia. So if you had a chance to go back, what do you think your season you would like to go back in?
Well, I heard spring and fall are the prettiest because it's where it's mild weather, the foliage, the waterfalls, and there's a lot of outdoor activity. So I want to be outdoors. I don't want to, I want to be all day out there. It is beautiful. The waterfalls are amazing, and there's hiking, and then you can take your bike, and there's so many things to do. So that's when I would go. I heard it's amazing on the 4th of July. They have fireworks and events and stuff like that. That's another time to go.
I think I'm not sure if any time it gets a little chilly up there in the it's about 3,500 elevation. It gets a little chilly up there in the wintertime. They get a few inches of snow, certainly more than Atlanta does. But this is one of those places if you're looking for, and I certainly since you're from South Florida, I'm sure you enjoyed the cooler weather and getting away from the hustle and bustle of South Florida. And I'm sure you've been to quite a few places, but Sky Valley certainly has a unique place as compared to other destinations in Georgia. I would definitely, I've been there quite a few times, and it has to be one of the fun places, community places. People are unbelievable up there. They're so friendly. But there's so much to do up there in Rayburn County, like you were mentioning there, from the scenic drives, the fishing, zip lining, day trips up to Highlands or down to Clayton. Highlands is in North Carolina, so a lot of wineries and boutique shopping. So I think you mentioned to me you might be thinking about bringing a group of ladies back up there and maybe later this year to play golf.
Yes, I actually just recorded one of my podcasts with a group of ladies called LEGS, Ladies Executive Golf Society, and I was telling them about Sky Valley. So I'll be happy to put them in contact with the person there because they said that would be different and unique. We're from Florida, and it's flat here all the time. It's always hot, no matter what time of the year. So something like that would be so different and unique. And they really like the idea of going up there as a group. They're thinking of 2027.
Sounds good.
So,
what about the food and lodging? You mentioned where you guys stayed. How about some other places? Do you know some other places in and around Sky Valley that people can go and stay?
Well, there's the Highlands, I believe. There's it's near North Carolina, in the border between Clayton, Georgia, and the Highlands. So they could stay, if they don't want to stay in the resort in Sky Valley, they could stay around there, but you're missing out if you do that. You have to stay, I recommend, this is my opinion, okay? Staying in there, waking up in the morning with your cup of coffee and just sit outside and just stare at the mountains. That's it. That was my Zen moment.
I know you went, I think you told me you went down to the Dillard House, down in the valley there, and that is a true Georgia staple for, well over 100 years, where you can stay and eat. And so there's quite a few places in and around Sky Valley to stay and eat. If you're looking they have different lodging, certainly there at the Dillard House, but many places you can go to Sky Valley, visit skyvalleyga.com for more information about that. But they got golf villas, cottage rentals, inns, many different things that you can see and do here. All right, we're going to come back here. We're talking to traveling golf diva, Miss Doris, and we appreciate you being with us here. We're going to come back and we'll talk about a couple other places that you like to visit. But you are with Sweet Tea Travels on the Marc McMain Show here, 1245. We'll be right back.
This is Andrew. I'm the owner and servant of Sweetwater Soft Wash. As the owner, I run this business to expand the kingdom of Christ. We use agape love and servant-based leadership to bring you first-class service at a fair price. At Sweetwater Soft Wash, we offer roof, house, driveway, window cleaning, Christmas light installation, and more. Text or call me at 470-902-5854 or at sweetwatersoftwash.com to get a quote.
Are you looking for custom t-shirts, golf shirts, or uniforms for yourself or work? What about a family reunion, a fundraiser, or sports team? Whatever you're looking for, Chris and Debbie at Blue Hound in Monroe can help you. Real Country uses Blue Hound for our golf shirts and t-shirts. They do quality work and they're great folks. Blue Hound is located at 111 East Washington Street in Monroe. Go by and see what they can do for you or call 404-307-3664. That's 404-307-3664. Tell them April sent you.
Make sure your diesel is ready for every season by stopping in at Leadfoot Diesel. Their technicians have many years of combined experience to keep your Cummins, Power Stroke, and Duramax running the way it should. Plus, they can improve fuel mileage, perform upgrades, AC repair, and they offer tires, wheels, lift kits, and more. Diesel owners from all over the country trust Leadfoot Diesel, 320 Mayfield Drive in Monroe. Stop in or go to leadfootdiesel.com.
Double D Plumbing is a local, owned, licensed, and insured plumbing company in Loganville. You can reach Double D Plumbing at 770-466-8370. They have the ability to take on any plumbing job regardless of size or difficulty, with experience in all phases of plumbing, including commercial and residential, tankless heaters, sewer cameras, and drain cleaning. Call Craig Shepard at 770-466-8370 or visit them on the web at ddplumbinggeorgia.com. You're going to like the way they flow.
All right, welcome back to the Marc McMain Show. We appreciate you tuning in every Friday. Tell your friends about, if you want to hear about some travel, we go everywhere from the Holy Land. That's new for us this year, this week. How about that? All the way to Boston, to New York, to Washington, D.C., and we're doing a few places here in Georgia. So we have Doris Muscarella, who is a public relations consultant, media professional, and avid golfer and passionate travel, and she started a company called the TravelingGolfDiva.com. So it's not .com, just the Traveling Golf Diva, but put .com and you go right to her website, and she's got a lot of things that she puts on her podcasts. So check it out and see more about what she is doing. I think you'll be real impressed. And Doris, I know we were talking about Sky Valley, but let's go across the state, stay in the northern hemisphere up there, and let's go over to the northwest side and go to a place that it is absolutely beautiful over there. McLemore is a special destination compared to many other mountain resorts. So tell us about your ventures to McLemore.
So we went to McLemore on a stay and play. I like to have, go to different places and stay and play and get to know them. And we went to Macklemore, which is in Lookout Mountain in Rising Fawn. It's in Georgia, and it's in the northwest corner of the state of Chattanooga, Tennessee. So we went there. We stayed at a beautiful house, and we had breakfast in the top of the mountain in their restaurant. And as we're sitting there having a cup of coffee, we see a Cessna just going by at eye level. And we were like, oh, my God, where are we? And they're like, yeah, they drive by all the time. From the roof, it's the top of the restaurant. From there, you could see you could see Tennessee, you could see North Carolina, you could see other states, which was very impressive. And then from there, we went to play golf and talk about, I'm from Florida, so there's nothing. We're flat. So when I go to these mountains, I really enjoy it. And we went and played. At that time, they were building another golf course. They only had one open for us. But they have the Highlands, and then they have, I believe, the Cloud. They only had one open. We went to play with a couple, which was really, really nice. And I have to tell you, I had to stop in the middle of the, when we were making the turn, because I lost about a dozen balls down the, I'm not really good at aiming straight. So they all went down the mountain, and once they go down the mountain, you don't pick them up or look for them. So, and the resort is like 2 hours from Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken.
About 2 hours northwest, going toward Chattanooga from Atlanta. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it is. So it's easy to get to. It's known for its cliffside mountain views, luxury golf experience, the upscale accommodations. They have amenities like a spa. They have hiking. They have everything. I did not see waterfalls around, and their signature hole was spectacular because it's like you feel like if you're not precise, you might go over the mountain. So beautiful golf courses. They had yoga. They had pools, like infinity pools. It's great for photography. As I said, when I go to these places, I focus pretty much on taking pictures instead of playing golf. So beautiful. But now they opened the second course.
Called the Keep. Yep.
The Keep.
The Keep.
Beautiful. And if the first one was beautiful, this one is absolutely gorgeous. It's brand new, and it's higher elevation, if I'm not mistaken.
A little bit. You can actually see one golf course to the other, and it is definitely unique, and it's just already won quite a few awards from the different golf magazines and different tribal associations across the United States. So they certainly have got a lot of things going there. Did you get down to the hotel?
Yes. We went down to the hotel. It wasn't finished when we went. It was still under construction.
Got it.
Yeah, it was still under construction. We stayed at a house. We stayed at the Stay and Play package, and that was great. It is upscale dining, so that was very nice. We did end up going down the mountain to another country-style cooking for dinner one night, and it was delicious. So I love country-style cooking the best.
Do you remember the name of that place?
Off the top of my head, I do not remember.
Pocket Cafe, maybe? No, not that one. That's a good one. I know there's a few up there that have some great, certainly the great scenic dining views. The Craig, the Audi Alliance, the Croft, the Pocket Cafe.
Doug, it was the Croft, yes.
Yeah, just some of the ones that certainly ones you can do up there. But again, here it is another community. You can go up and buy a home. You buy a second home up there. I have been up there a few times and would love to get back up there. They've been very busy building quite a few things and done extremely a great job. Let's just put it that way. Certainly see a lot of them on social media. You can follow them there, but and it's from the northwest Georgia mountain area is has a lot to do with Cloudland. There's Cloudland State Park up there, and that is an old Indian name. So they came up there. And then, hey, you certainly can go see a falls. It's called Ruby Falls up there.
Ruby Falls, yes, we did. We went to see that. You're right.
Yeah, but you got to go inside. It's not outside. So you got to go
No.
inside. And but it's beautiful there. A lot of things to see and do around the Chattanooga area. So you certainly want to check it out. 2 hours northwest of Atlanta, going up I-75 there. So, all right, let's change gears real quick here, and let's go over across the state line to the Robert Trent Jones Trail. Tell me a little bit about your journeys over there, because I think you had a few years that you spent.
We learned about the couples jamboree in Alabama through, of course, the internet, and we decided to go there as couples and compete. We learned about the Robert Trent Jones Trail, and that was 10 years ago, and we decided that we would do every location, not knowing that each location has 2 to 3 golf courses.
Right, usually 54 holes over there.
Yeah. So what we did was, we said, we're going to make a commitment, and every 4th of July weekend, we'll take a week off and we'll do the whole trail. It took us 10 years. We did the entire trail. And each location, they have pretty much the same concept, the same, decorations and things like that. But each course has its own unique identity. So we did that. Different places, and of course we did couples tournaments throughout the state of Alabama. Very nice, very different. My favorite of all of them was the Grand National in Auburn.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. It has 3 golf courses. They have, I believe, the Senate, the Judge, I forgot the third one. It's all, related to government stuff, but the Judge was my favorite. I played it more than once. It's the high elevation, and you have to hit the ball down in the valley, and you have to avoid getting it into the water or down the mountain. So it's like, precision golf. I like the challenge. I never made it, though. But it's very nice. And now this year, we are going to do the Georgia Golf Trail.
Georgia Golf Trail, I've heard of that. I heard it's a really good golf trail. So, but the Robert Trent Jones Trail's got 11 locations across Alabama. It's certainly different since you go all the way from North Alabama all the way down to Mobile. So it's certainly many things in between. Hotels you can stay at each location, so make sure you find out more information about that. So, Doris, if you had one place to pick anywhere that you play golf at across the world or whatever, tell us real quickly what that would be.
Does it have to be one, Doug?
No, it has to be one, yes.
I would go back to Sky Valley in a heartbeat.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have to put this on print. Send it to Sky Valley. They do have a beautiful golf course, and the whole area is certainly very, very pretty. So, Doris, we look forward to talking to you again in the future. We appreciate you coming on this morning and tell us a little bit about your favorites. Why don't you give us out that website again and tell people how you can help them if they're interested in finding out more information?
Absolutely. It is the Traveling Golf Diva, and we have a website called thetravelinggolfdiva.com. You could follow us on social media. You are looking for speakers. We're looking for sponsors. We're looking to highlight locations and resorts, so you can visit the website and sign up. And I'm very happy to be in your radio, Doug, and looking forward to coming back.
Thank you, Doris. Appreciate it very much there, and we look forward to having you back here. All right, it's 12:58. We're going to wrap it up here, and we hope everybody's had a great week. Hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend last week. Don't forget about the car show, 10 to 2 tomorrow at the Monroe Auto and Tire Company over at 524 East Spring Street. Don't forget about gastateparks.org/golf cup. You can find out more information about the remaining events. Sponsored by Bridgestone. So, and our special thanks to Steve Shepard, who's sitting over here. He's he's texting all his friends who now have found him on radio and doing everything. Hey, don't forget we do have another special election coming up here on June 16th. Oh, I know early voting is going to start in about another week, so make sure you get out and vote. It's everybody's right, and we appreciate what we have, and thank you all for our people there. So, Judy, thank you very much for another well-done job today.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure to be here. Enjoy everything we talk about here on Sweet Tea Travels and the Marc McMain Show.
Thank you, Chastity. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend.